This day and time. What happened today, years ago?
Same date, June 28th, but 1922. And this time, it's the start of the Irish Civil War.
Yes, another incredibly divisive event, and this one feels particularly tragic because it pitted Irish against Irish. Brothers against brothers, as you said.
It seems so strange, though. The Anglo-Irish Treaty of 1921 had just ended the War of Independence, created the Irish Free State. Shouldn't that have been a moment of celebration? How did that treaty spark a civil war?
Well, the problem was, for many hardline Republicans, the treaty didn't deliver what they'd fought for. It wasn't a fully independent republic.
What were the sticking points?
Three main things, really. One, it wasn't a republic. It was a free state within the British Commonwealth. Two, Irish parliamentarians still had to swear an oath of allegiance or fidelity to the British king.
The oaths. That was huge, wasn't it?
Hugely controversial. And three, the treaty formalized the partition of Ireland, leaving the 6 counties of Northern Ireland separate. For many, these were betrayals of the cause.
So you ended up with these two clear sides, the pro-treaty group, with Michael Collins, Arthur Griffith. What was their argument for accepting it?
They saw it pragmatically. Collins famously called it a stepping stone. Not perfect freedom, but the freedom to achieve freedom. They felt it was the best deal possible at the time, a base to build on.
Okay, a practical compromise.
Yeah.
And then the anti-treaty side, Eamon de Valera, Rory O'Connor. Their position.
For them, it was about principle. They believed the treaty fundamentally betrayed the Republican ideal they'd fought and died for. Anything less than a full 32-county republic was unacceptable. No compromise on the oath or partition.
So tensions simmered. And then June 28, 1922, the flashpoint. The new Free State Army shelled the Four Courts in Dublin. What exactly was the significance of the Four Courts then?
The Four Courts was, and still is, the main complex for Ireland's courts, a very symbolic building. At that moment, it had been occupied for weeks by anti-treaty IRA forces.
Okay.
So the Free State Army shelling its former comrades who were holding this key building, that's widely seen as the definitive start, the first shots of the Civil War.
And just a couple of days later, something truly terrible happened there.
Yeah, tragically. On June 30th, during the fighting, a massive explosion occurred in the Four Courts complex. And that explosion destroyed the Public Record Office of Ireland, which was housed there.
The National Archives.
The National Archives. 7 centuries of Irish historical documents, legal records, census data, medieval manuscripts just gone, incinerated. An absolutely devastating loss for Irish history.
700 years just wiped out. It's almost impossible to fathom that kind of cultural loss on top of the human cost.
But human cost was high too, of course. Estimates vary, but probably over 900 people killed, including Michael Collins himself, assassinated later that year.
So how